good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shaked Baltal, and I'm going to host the NFL show tonight with my co-host Alex Bryant. You know, typically our show is on Wednesday night, but Alex Bryant has a big time party tomorrow. He's hosting the biggest party in New York City with 10,000 people being invited to the party. So he asked me if we can host the show tonight instead of tomorrow night, and I greatly, of coursely, agree with that. Because when you host a party, 25,000 people in it, the biggest party in New York City history, going to break Guinness World of Record, then absolutely you post a show. You postpone NFL show for a day. That is why we are live tonight and not tomorrow night. Because, yes, absolutely. Typically, we do the show on Wednesday night, but not tomorrow night. Because, as I stated, Alex Ryan, my co host, is hosting the biggest party in New York City. 25,000 people are being invited to the party. And he might talk about it on our show. He probably won't. You can reach him on Twitter at Alex Bryant, and he will let you know about how to come to the biggest party tomorrow night, 7 o'clock in New York City. 25,000 people are being invited to his party for Alex Bryant. What's up, Trenton? How you doing tonight? Name is Shaked Baltar, Sports Guy Show. And we are hosting an NFL show right now. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Hosting an NFL show right now. 9:30. I'm hosting a live streaming of the biggest rebuild in college football history. 10 years trying to win college football championship at Missouri State. Trust me, it's going to be a very difficult challenge. What's up, Evil? How you doing tonight? Hope everyone is doing great. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. Only coughing because of those grapes. So if you are not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Also turn the bell notification. And here's Alex Bryant. Join me right now. What's up?
What up, man? How you doing?
So share the stream, please. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, please, thank you.
All right, cool. What's up, man?
Yeah. So I while you were away for a bit, I told the
Mm.
people why we don't have a show tomorrow because you're hosting the biggest party New York City history. 25,000 people will show up, and I told them where they can find information.
Right,
So
right.
we're done with that.
No,
So anyway, back to football, NFL. I mean, think you have an apology to do to a Brown player?
so so here's a couple of things because I think you're right. I think Shador outplayed what I thought. I think he only helped his stock. Uh, that said, we got to relax. It wasn't a fantastic game. It was better. It was a slightly above average what I would have expected by an average quarterback. I think it was above. I think he helped his stock is what I think he did. But I don't think he was amazing. I thought he was pretty good. Um, so I'm giving. Also, in general, if you know me, I don't hate on players. I don't not hate on players. I kind of just say how it is, how I see it, uh, how the data has that I collected concludes. But in my opinion, you're right. I think Shador had a very quality game, very quality tape, and I think what Stefanski did backfired. But I think a lot of that was because the Panthers just did not care about this. Like they were just getting reps. They were basically saying, "Hey guys, save yourself. You know, like play your gas. Play like do what you're." It's almost like a walkthrough for the Panthers, where it was like full speed for the Browns. If that makes sense. And I feel like anybody that didn't conclude that wasn't actually watching. Um, but I think what we if you go back and rewatch uh, the the things that mattered. One, Rice is freaking really good. Like he's good. Um, and Chet can get open, and Coker is also really good. And also, I might be frozen right. Am I frozen? Or like, am
Uh,
I glitching?
Not like last week.
Okay, but
Definitely.
I'm okay.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're glitching for me, but you guys get over the overall point, right? I
So,
think that the when Bryce stepped to the line of scrimmage, like you can just like look at body language of the greatest players in history. I'm not comparing Bryce to the greatest players in history, but just watch how comfortable he was and how he reminds me of how it's just I'm just talking about comfortability. I'm not talking about talent. I'm talking about comfortability of Aaron Rodgers like 2011. Just like nobody's ever going to sack me. I'm just going to be able to manipulate the pocket. I'm going to be able to manipulate the cornerbacks, and I'm going to get whatever I want. And I just need the receivers to catch the freaking ball. Ted didn't really do what he's supposed to do with that kind of stuff. Excel didn't really do what he's supposed to do, but I'm not worried about it. Rookie wide receivers always have concentration problems. Ted can get open, and Ted's an athlete, and Coker is really good. Dude, man, I got everything I needed to know from the Panthers.
yeah, full disclosure, I didn't watch the game, but still, it's preseason. But what worry me the defense? And I know we say it was a scrimmage and practice, but still, you have to tackle better. You have to do a much better job. And 30 points, even if it's just preseason, that is unacceptable. So I think our issue, we have a good starting 11, but our backups, God forbid we suffer injuries on the defensive front, deep, deep. What concerned me last season, previous year, right now, so far, we haven't addressed the depth issue, which I don't understand why Dan Morgan, Brett Tillis, you 11 starters, very good starters, but to be a very good team in the you need backups. I mean, look at the Eagles, look at the Chiefs, two Super Bowl teams. The reason why they made it to the Super Bowl is because they had pretty good backup players, which is why they let the Eagles, for example, Milton Williams, Charles Sweat, living in free agent, the Chief, Tariq Warren, have good backup players
Yeah, so it's more new. It's I've seen this a lot on Twitter and stuff like that. It's more nuanced than what we're talking. You got to think about Evero's system, right? It's very complicated. A lot of stunts, a lot of blitzes from different areas. I don't know. He called one blitz, honestly. Uh, but what I did see is Prinsley got the quarterback pretty easily. I saw uh, uh, Squirtin get the quarterback pretty easily. Played a lot of cover two, like a lot. Like I just don't think they. tried really hard. I think it was more about let's not get hurt, let's get the reps, and let's tackle. Early on, I saw there was a 4th and 1 where they stopped them. If there's not a fumble on special teams right there, I mean, it's a whole because like what I tell you before, I told you halftime is all you really need to watch. They went at half what 14-7, and that should have been the other way around 14-7, but there was a fumble. Bryce never came back on the field. Bryce had a 137 passer rating. Whew, against their first team defense. Like, you know who the Browns have on the first team? And then you look at the defense who played. You're missing Horn and Brown, which are the two best players on the whole defense. You're missing the the two offensive linemen, which in theory, in the regular season, the more you run the ball, the less the defense is on the field. I just think there's too much nuance to it. I would kind of call it a wash for the defense. There's just not enough information where I can make a call on how good the depth is or how good the defense is because they just didn't really try. I mean, the like Evero, it was just so vanilla, and they kind of just like, hey, Shador, just throw the ball, we'll tackle them, and then we'll get off the field and put our scrubs in. It's kind of how it felt.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you said. It's just, I mean, like I've said in the past, I'm concerned about the defense. I want them to do well, to do really well, but it's it's a concerning part on my end. And I mean, I don't like Avero. I'm sure he's a good dude off the field, but on the field, I believe he's an overrated defensive coordinator. And until he proves me otherwise, that is my belief. And also, I like Dave Canales. I really do. But I don't understand how in the world are you going to play Nick Scott starter, the same Nick Scott who last season against the Bengals, didn't put his body on the line and try to make an effort. I see you shaking your head, but I mean,
He's not starting week 1. I mean, I will send you $500 cash if he starts week 1. He ain't starting week 1. We as Panther fans always overreact to everything. He ain't start like also they're holding $25 million in cap space. They're gonna bring people in. We know all of this. So I think that it's just like Panthers fans overreact to week 1. Uh, there's a method to madness. Nick Scott ain't starting people. He ain't doing it. It ain't happening. But I understand your concern if that does happen. I think it's more of bringing on the rookies slowly than than it is. That's what's gonna happen week 1. It ain't gonna happen.
yeah. I mean, if it happens, I win $500. If it doesn't happen, then we are probably 1-0. So it's a 50-50 coin flip, honestly.
You
But
win either way, right? You win either way.
correct. No, but I mean,
Right.
seriously, Nick Scott should not make the team. In my opinion, based off last season, because as a professional athlete, defender, what is your responsibility to safety? When you're against a running back, dive after the running back. Dive after the running back. Try to make a tackle. If you don't,
Mm,
why in the world are you playing? I mean,
mm,
the reason why Jalen Coker is going to make the team, it is probably, I think we rank them lower than where it should be. The reason why everyone speaks so highly of him, because he played tough. He's not the tallest wideout in the NFL. He's not the fastest wideout in the NFL, but he played tough. He played with a tough mentality. We cannot say that about Nick, lazy, soft Scott. Unfortunately, we cannot. So it's baffling me why a player who doesn't play hard still get a contract. I don't know that. I don't think you do. No, I don't think anyone know except Dan Morgan, Brad Tillis, Dave Canales, and Evero.
Yeah, I think you spent way too much time talking about Nick Scott. Like I'm with you. He might not make the team, and if he does, it's specifically for special teams. We're overreacting to Nick Scott. It ain't going to be Nick Scott. He ain't starting. He's not a starting safety for the Panthers. Just just throwing it out there. But what we should be talking about, because I also I I was I would say I was wrong, but I was kind of off. Coker might be the second best wide receiver on this team, and I don't know if is particularly close. like I think I mean the only person I would say is Thielen, but I'm just putting Thielen to the side because he's just kind of Thielen. Like we
He's a
don't know
bit.
where he just yeah, it's all kind of when Anquan Bolden was around. You remember Anquan Bolden just kind of lasted forever, and then he would like some games he would explode, some games he wouldn't. It's kind of like like Tyler Lockett's probably going to be this year, or Tyler Boyd, or Randall Cobb. Like this is guys that kind of like are around. That's that's going to be how Thielen is. I think he's going to have some pretty big games, but I'm not going to. I just can't rank him as far as the receivers. But the future is if Coker can stay healthy, and that's what I'm big. My biggest worry is because he's already having soft tissue injuries. Him and Tet are going to be a force. Coker is a really good wide receiver. I went on several podcasts and I said that I thought Coker at his best was a wide receiver two, middle of the pack wide receiver two in this league, but probably was going to be a top end wide receiver three. I kind of still think that, but I think that he's already there. Like I think he's already a middle tier wide receiver two in this thing. He's fantastic.
Yeah, is what's up, FX? Hope you're doing well, and everyone else. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Jalen Coker is a steal, and considering last year, originally, he did not make the roster. He was cut. So we are so lucky other teams did not find the secret about Jalen Coker than we did. And also, I know you mentioned last week he's probably not going to make the team, but he's still having a pretty good camp. Bryce Durant is having a good camp.
Yeah, he's not making the team.
I mean, we are so freaking good at wideout. We really are, which is great, great sight. And switching to the defense, Corey Totten, undrafted. JC on today stated he should have been drafted. Honestly, on defense, he might be the story of training camp. And I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah, man. Ibero does this every single year. There's always guys that are just nobody. Like he's just a secondary guru. He finds these secondary guys out of nowhere, like Demani Richardson, Troy Hill, Michael Jackson. Like he just does it. Like he's just really, really good at whatever you think about Evero. He's good at finding talent in for his system on the secondary. I think he just did it again. I think Thornton was, and also Thornton was supposed to be drafted. I think I was doing mock drafts with him going in the fourth or fifth round. It was weird that he fell. I don't know. I still don't know why he was undrafted, but they jumped on him as soon as possible. Um, I still think they're gonna. I think they're gonna sign two or three more players. I don't think that there's enough talent outside of the front four on this team. They need another linebacker, they need another safety, and they need another cornerback.
I think I think the reason maybe why he wasn't drafted is 24 years old, which for NFL standard, that is relatively old for a rookie. That probably the only reason.
Yep,
But
yep.
but
You're probably right.
but quarterback, I mean, even Shamar Bartal, which I will call him similar last name to my last name. I mean,
Yeah,
he's probably also going to make the roster. So we have five five pretty good quarterback overall.
yeah.
Same,
So
yeah.
yeah, you're kind of making the point. Like we're only a couple pieces away, and I think we're going to bring those couple pieces in. I think we get we. I, I think that what we're doing and we continue to do as Panther fans is we think very small minded as far as like as box score, and you didn't even watch the game. You just said that. I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying that you. But I think that's a lot of us, right? Um, I look at body language. I look at swag. I look at what if he did catch that? What could they clean up? How easy is it going to be for them to clean it up? How long did they play? Like Shador was playing with the. I mean, he played so long. He played with the nobodies. When he was going against the first team defense, he couldn't move the ball at all. Like
Right.
his first touchdown was because they fumbled the ball within the 10-yard line. That's the only reason he scored the first touchdown. And then after that, the touchdowns came when nobody was in there. So I think that it was a lot of nuances to the game that is so hard to argue with people on Twitter or have short arguments with people. That's why I tweeted out, which randomly went viral. Weirdly, I feel like I have like 4,000 likes. I was like, I have like, why did that happen? But I said what I saw. I was like, this team, as they approach the line of scrimmage, they look across the people across from them, and they know they're better in their behavior. Bryce Young, you saw it in his touchdown pass to Coker. He stayed there. He knew that blitz was coming, and he just easily manipulated. He's like Patrick Mahomes way with his hips. He's like, I'm not going to get sacked. I'm that good, and he shows where Coker should go. Boom. That what should have been a pass to touchdown to Tet. What a pass between two defenders, and Ted even looked up. He was like, "Holy shit!" Like he is on a different level, and it's going to surprise so many people. It really is because I don't know why it would because we saw it for 5, 6, 7 games at the end of the season. But if you didn't watch that game, you didn't see some of those. He had 137 passer rating in that game, and if Tech could catch some balls, he wouldn't have. There would have been no drops. He would have been perfect. It's insane. Watch out for this offense. Because also they didn't want Chuba to get hurt. They didn't want these running backs to get hurt, so they didn't really call a lot of running plays. When we can control the game with a run and then set up the pass, it's gonna be good.
But how shocked are you that T-Mac dropped the ball? Because, I mean, coming from Arizona, he was known to
It's
basically
rookie.
not drop anything.
Just if you want to understand, type in uh, Jamar Chase rookie drops. All rookies drop passes. It just happens. We create these moronic narratives in our head. You know what they kept on doing? Throwing to Tech. So they don't really care about these drops. So it's just something that you got to work through as a rookie. By the time the season starts, that concentration will be way better.
Right. And how concerned are you about Excel? I mean, look like he's great
Oh
in
man,
practicing his wrestling move for WrestleMania 2026 on pay-per-view in ESPN. So, I mean, he's in Peacock, so he's great at his wrestling move. But, I mean, you cannot
man,
get thrown out. Even if the Browns player was wrong, because here's the deal: that Brown player, Todd Jenkins, was the one couple of days earlier at practice threw the ball at Chuba after he scored a touchdown. So that is childish, bully behavior
yeah.
from Jenkins. Now Leggett stated he wasn't aware of that. So I mean, I appreciate toughness, but in the NFL, you have to understand, even in preseason, you cannot cross the line. And the final point
Yeah,
regarding, I mean, let's say Leggett doesn't get thrown out. I'm wondering if Cochler would have got as many plays as he did. Probably not.
I think it would have. I think they play different. I mean, Coker primarily runs out of the slot. Maybe you might be right. They may have called sets where he doesn't play as much. So you might be right. I don't know if I said it on this podcast. I might have said it on another podcast. But my biggest fear coming into this season is the leadership in the wide receiver room. I said it over and over and over and over and over again. People say, "Well, Adam Thielen's a leader." No, he has no interest in being a leader. He had no interest. You know who the best player in the running back room, and people are going to follow Chuba. You know Robert Hunt leads the offensive line room. You know that Bryce is the leader of the offense. You know that Tony. You need me? No. Okay. You know Derek Brown's leader of the line. You know that Horn's leader of the secondary. So we all have all these people that are leaders, except the wide receiver room. And when you have somebody as emotionally skewed as Excel, when he's the first round pick, he was supposed to be the guy in that room, and then they come and get he has no idea where he belongs, and I saw it happening. I warned this happening from the beginning, and it's kind of playing out just how I thought it would.
Right, and how concerned are you about special team? I mean, look like we don't know who's
No,
going to be the kicker.
yeah. I just it's that's just something that like you can't really tell preseason.
Right, and
You're throwing so many things into in a system. There's no consistency. It's even with kickers. Like I have no idea. Um,
and
yeah,
same
I think he's gonna have to let that play out.
yeah, it seemed like ETN had a decent game. I'm not sure if Jimmy Owen Jr. got any reception in that game or not, but looked like Jake Plummer did throw the ball one ball to Sel Pearl instead of Jimmy Owen Jr. So I'm guessing Sel Pearl is fighting to make the roster. Because they stated on Twitter if the ball was thrown to Jimmy Owen Jr. and not Sel Pearl, Jimmy Owen Jr. would have probably scored a 100-yard touchdown on the reception. And unfortunately, he threw it to Sel Pearl. So,
Uh, uh,
yeah,
um,
yeah. And now,
you just go back and look at this box score and look at the quarterback rating when Andy Dalton's in, when Jack Homer's in, and look at what Bryce like. He's just on a different level, and people need to start realizing that. They really, really do, because
so,
the wide receiving core still isn't great. I mean, it might be 20th to 25th best in the league, maybe. We got promise there. The difference is the offensive line, the running backs, and Bryce Young, and gotta start under like people gotta start giving Bryce his props because you don't want to be too late to the party.
so Andy Dalton's stat basically resemble my Madden 26 stat Carolina Panthers when he threw multiple interceptions in that game. Also in the preseason, week one against the Browns. Dalton in the Madden game, he looked bad. Dalton in the NFL game, he looked bad. Manifestation. But anyway, look like this week it's the end of training camp, unfortunately, which means even for the fans, the media won't have that much access to it. But before the end of
Uh,
training camp, they go tomorrow, not tomorrow, I believe Thursday, if I remember, Thursday and Friday, padded practice against the Texans, which Bryce supposed to play 2 series, maybe 3 series in the game. And I know it's a
yeah.
preseason, but this will be a good challenge for us because the Texans, even though they are not as good, I believe, as last season, because they lost the Van Diggs, they don't have Tank Dell at wideout. They still, of course, still have CJ Stroud and Joe Mixon and company. But this will be a pretty good task for our defense and potentially for our offense facing against the 3-4 D'Amico Ryan with Will Anderson and company.
I think that they don't care who they play as on offense. I don't think they care who they play, and if they running difficult stuff. Each Bryce is just doing whatever he wants to do, and I think he's going to do that all season long. As far as defense, I think this is a great matchup. I don't think that I think that CJ likes to throw the ball in the middle of the field. I think he likes to throw. I think he's pretty. I think their offense has began to be figured out. They rely on their defense more than anything right now, and I think people need to start understanding that. Maybe he became less predictable, uh, but I, I don't see them showing their hand either. So I think it's gonna be two vanilla offenses. I think that uh, I think that Evero last time they played, where they hold him to 16 points or something like that with a bad defense. I think that I think Evero knows how predictable he is. Probably going to be who cares? The only thing that we need to be concerned about is how the stars play, and that's what I keep on telling people. Look how the stars play. Look how Bryce plays. Look how Tet plays. Look what Sanders does. Look what Coker does. Uh, we're probably not going to run the ball much because we don't want our running backs to get hurt. See how fast Princely can get the quarterback on him. I think those are the things you need to take away. Who is aggressive? Hopping routes? Can we get any turnovers? I think those are the things you look at rather than they score touchdowns because they're not trying to stop it. They're trying out new things, especially on the first team. And then when the second team comes in, who cares?
Right, but the question is, I mean, at what week preseason, if at all, do you really start playing, like showing your offense, if at all, or defense, or portion of it for regular season, or you really don't? Because
I think they'll
usually,
probably. I think probably the last preseason game they'll maybe show it on one or two drives.
but
But outside of that, I don't think. I think they're just getting reps right now.
right, but sorry to cut you off, but don't preseason game. The starters might not play in it. Probably won't
Well,
at all.
yeah, yeah. I have no idea what then it would be in the second to last. So whatever the strategy is, they'll run some timing things. They have to, right? You have to run some timing things. You can't just hike the ball on one. You can't just run uh, fade routes and go routes and 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 hook route. I mean, you can't just run the most basic things. You're gonna have to do crosshairs. But when you start doing that, that's when people get hurt, and that's when ACLs get torn because you're basically you're juking. Like what it looks like they're doing is finding ways to limit how people could get hurt, and they accomplished that this past week because people didn't get hurt.
Right, which was fantastic. So I mean, I'm guessing they might show some real plays, potentially regular season this week, because next week they won't play the starter. So that is something worth keeping an eye on. And in a way, I got to be honest with you, I really don't like it that basically the cut day is until after the preseason. And the reason for that is, let's say you have players on the roster. You know they're not going to make the roster right now. They're not going to make the practice squad. They're just not good enough. I'd rather have the ability cut those players right now and bring in someone who might get a chance to make the team, maybe practice squad.
Uh,
And you cannot technically do that right now. You're stuck with them, unless you have an injury, of course.
well, you can cut people whenever you want to cut people. You're not required to cut people.
Right.
Um,
No, but I mean,
and they did that. They brought in like a couple. They cut who did they cut. They cut a few people, and then
right, but they were
yeah,
injured. They were injured. I'm talking about players who are not injured. They basically have
yeah,
to keep them in until the final cut day, and they should basically, like a couple of years ago, you cut players after week one, after
yeah.
like week two of preseason. I think they should go to that. Of course, the players get a paycheck, I believe, some sort of a paycheck. But still, bottom line, if you're not good enough, you
You're not good
shouldn't.
enough, right?
Exactly. You shouldn't be on the roster.
Dude, I really got to pee. I'll be right back home.
Sure. So this is what happened, guys. Planning a big party, 25,000 people showing up tomorrow, New York City. Make sure to ask Alex Bryant in the comment about the big time party at New York City. 25,000 people will show up tomorrow for the biggest party in New York City history. So we're waiting for Alex to come back. I hope everyone is having a great Tuesday night. Make sure to stay tuned. 9:30. We are hosting a college football rebuild on my channel. Missouri State is going to be exhausting, difficulty, challenging, which is why we do it on my YouTube channel. Fun, entertaining, difficult, and challenging and rewarding. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification and smash the like button. It's free. It's free. It's free. It's free to smash the like button. It's free to subscribe. It's free to turn the bell notification. Those are free stuff, guys. We're waiting for Alex Bryan to come back, and here you are. Welcome back. So, like I
Sorry, dude. I
said,
know I was gonna like be so uncomfortable if I didn't pick you right then.
sure, sure. No, it's all good. I mentioned again about the big party tomorrow. But anyway, so what I was saying. So like I said, prior a couple of seasons ago, they allowed you to cut a play after second week. I think the NFL
Mm.
should go back. I mean, the thing is, players get paid, so I understand that. But at the same time, if you're not good at your job, why should you get a paycheck? I don't know. But what I do know,
Just in case, guys, it's just people are gonna get hurt, so you want to hold. If you have enough room on your roster, you want to hold as many people as you possibly can because people are gonna get hurt. Who knows that better than anybody? The Carolina Panthers. So I think that's the reason why they do that.
right? No, but I mean, my point is allow you to cut and then sign them different players because right now you can only cut them if they're injured, in essence. Now,
Uh,
the other point, speaking of injury, it's a bit concerning at guard at the moment. A bit concerning because Damien Lewis is out week to week. Chandler Savalas is out. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but luckily for us, we have Cade Mays and we have Brady Christensen. Both of them can play guard if we want to. And I saw, according to Mike Kay of the CharlotteObserver.com, that Cade Mays today was practicing at guard, which definitely makes sense.
so let's talk about that. Like, let's talk about this specifically. Let's go on a journey of what that means, right? One,
Right,
we already know that Corbett has the center position locked down, right?
right,
We what specifically was told is that Cade Mays is practicing at left guard.
right,
So if you have Cade Mays at left guard, which why would that happen? Because Brady went for a whole season with us at left guard, right? So
right.
shouldn't Brady be the backup left guard? What it feels like to me is that either they are going to, if Lewis is out, they'll move Hunt over to right guard and they'll put Mays at left guard, or that Brady Christensen is already going to be the backup for right guard behind uh, Lewis, right?
Right.
The only things that I can think of that would make any sense, and then why move a backup center? Who's the backup center now? Is it still Cade Mays?
I think it's Brady.
That's the other thing is Brady now the backup center? Is Brady the future at the center position? Those are the questions that we need, like that you get from this whole thing. Is it? And I had a back and forth on Twitter with somebody that was like, I asked that question: Is Lewis's injury more than we thought? And it was like, oh come on, like Brady, like Kit Mays was never going to win the center position. It was always going to be golf score. It was like, okay, yeah, I understand, but why isn't he just a backup? Yeah, those are the questions that we need to start asking: Is why is he moving at all? Is he now the third string center and they just want is he a cut candidate? Is that what we're looking at? And those are the kind of questions that we need to start asking. How many offensive linemen are they keep? Are they going to keep 9? Are they going to keep 10? If they keep another receiver, which people are talking about, they keep 6, then somebody's got to go, and it might be offensive lineman. And when you have a swing tackle in Yosh, which Yosh did not look good, is Damien Lewis going on IR? Is Zavala going on IR? How many like who are you keeping? It's those kind of questions that we need to start asking instead of the very simplistic question of Mays equals Lewis kind of thing.
Right. I don't think Lewis is going on the IR week to week because if you put him on the IR start of the season, he has to miss minimum 4 games. So it doesn't make sense to put him on the IR. I'm not sure about Chandler Savalas, but The
He
big
might be
question,
cut anyways.
I'm not sure. I mean,
We're deep, man. Like you got to think about the five starters, right? Then you got Brady, Mays, and Yost. That's already eight people. And then you say, is you just gifting it to Savala?
just,
Is there anybody else that could come take that position?
just a second, please. You mentioned a second ago that Josh did not look good. So if he did not
Sure.
look good, why would he make the team over Chandler?
You're absolutely
Yeah,
well because the cap hit with Yosh is a lot different than the cap hit with Zavala, and also Yosh is used to playing. Zavala has only played how many snaps? I'm not saying that he will be cut. I'm just saying that he could be a cut candidate
yeah.
if he's already hurt. He's not going through the same reps that everybody else is in preseason. I'm not saying he will. I'm just saying that if you're hurt most of the preseason, it does, and you're already on the bubble, you know, that's all I'm saying.
Right. I mean, my point is last season, Chandler played much better overall compared to his rookie season. Same with Iki. I'm not
Hmm.
saying he's a starter right guard, but I thought he played overall pretty well compared to his rookie season when he was terrible. Now, the thing is, I'm wondering why, in my belief is, and I could be mistaken, my belief is Damian Lewis' injury is not as bad as they indicate. And here's why. Austin
Yeah, I don't
Colbert,
think so either.
Austin Colbert, what position did he play with the Rams? Guard.
Right guard, yeah.
So I mean, if uh, Lewis was seriously old, I bet they would have named either Brady or Kate Mays the starting center and move Austin Colbert to guard because that is his natural position. So I'm
Mm.
thinking his injury is not as bad as they indicated.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. But I'd rather have those conversations than the is Excel the worst wide receiver we've ever seen? Conversations kind of thing. Because I think that's more interesting uh, for multiple different reasons. One, Bryce Young is in his. So let's go even deeper, right?
Yeah,
You bring back Corbin. Now at this point in time, Bryce Young has had in 3 years. He's had. You know how important the center. First of all, the coach quarterback, how important that is. The offensive coordinator quarterback, how important that is. The wide receiver one quarterback, how important that is, and the center quarterback, how important that is. And how many times has that changed? Like first, you brought in Thielen for his rookie year. Then you brought in you drafted a first round rookie. I'm just going wide receiver, and you brought in Deontay Johnson. You screwed all that up. Now it's Tech's the number one wide receiver. So you've gone through all that. You had Frank Reich, you had Canales, and you had whatever the interim head coach. You changed that three times. Now you've had Bozeman, Corbett, Mays, back to Corbett, and you know Corbett might only have 1 year left. I just don't understand why you're not putting a younger person. You're not thinking anything about the future for any of these reasons, and that's my only concern about like with the offensive line is there's no continuity because why wouldn't you put Mays as your future center? Like honestly, like that that continuity matters. And but powers that be has Corbett. Corbett's gotten hurt each of the last two seasons. He's probably gonna get hurt again. We're probably gonna have to go through this shuffling again. So whatever. That's how it is.
right. And also Mace, when he was the starter center last season, which wasn't his natural position because he was drafted as a guard. Actually, he was pretty good as a center last season. Played pretty well for us. So it doesn't make sense, but maybe they're not as high on Kate Mace. That could be the reason.
Well, that's what I said initially. I was like, maybe that's exactly what I said. The very first thing I said was like, maybe he's a cut candidate.
No, but also Savalas. So one of them might,
Mm.
but one thing position they need to address linebacker. They need to address the linebacker.
Mm.
I mean, we have Rosebone. Who is the backup behind Rosewood? Chandler Wooten, who keep getting oh
Well, Chairless didn't play in the preseason.
yeah.
It would be Chairless and Wooten would be the two. I agree with you. I think they're going to get another linebacker in.
The question is, do you think the guys that they picked up in free agency, Chris Barnes, he has a chance?
I mean, maybe he makes the team, but I don't think he's going to be important at all. This is an important position for Morgan. He's consistently always brought it. Like he brought in Jewel, he brought in Roseboom. He's like he he wants to get the when he was in uh, with the Bills. He had two Pro Bowl linebackers. When he was with the Seahawks, he had two Pro Bowl linebackers. This is an important position. I think he likes Wallace a lot. I think he likes Roseboro a lot. But I think he's also going to bring every year he's brought in people. I mean, what did they bring in? Perriman. They like, got rid of him. They brought in Deion Jones. They brought in um, they consistently are bringing in guys at that position. So I think they're going to bring and they've done it late in the offseason too. Like Deion Jones came in like right before the season or in the season when they did that trade. So I think they're going to bring in another. I think they're going to bring at least one secondary person and one middle linebacker.
Right, which linebacker I saw a surprise cut by the Vikings. Brian Amush, last name, was cut
Uh,
also by the Vikings, a starter, which kind of
mm.
interesting to see him cut. And safety, I don't know, can you play safety Kenny Moore from the Colts? Because I saw he was
Uh,
cut.
I think I think secondary people is going to be some random person because it's always some random person secondary um, when it comes to Evero. But I think whoever the random secondary person that is with Evero is they're going to help. And then with Morgan, I think it's going to be I think it might be a splash move for middle linebacker.
Right, so I guess we have to keep an eye on the waiver wires maybe next week, but probably for sure. If I'm not mistaken, the cuts are not 3 days after the Steelers game, but a couple of days later, if I remember correctly. So it's not like 10 days from now.
Mm.
It's a week afterward, but I could be mistaken because a week afterward, we're in week one beating the Jaguars. So that will be, and look like the final point against the Jags. We might have to face off against the best NFL kicker in NFL history. Stuart Little
Yeah,
made a 70
yeah.
yard field goal. 70 yard. That is shocking.
And we'll
That
beat
is
them. We'll beat them 30-6.
hopefully. Hopefully. So anyway, guys,
Yeah,
have a great party tomorrow. And we'll see you
sounds
back
good.
Wednesday. Good night, everyone.
Peace.
Peace. Keep pounding. Go Panthers.